So this is how I reinvented my life in 60 days. And this was very, very recent. It was back in March 2025, so only a couple of months ago. But you've got to understand the point I went into this and what my state was before I started this change. Ever since 2022, I've realized I've really been on a decline. Now, even though I've had a lot of successes with YouTube and different channels, and even hitting my most profitable month in 2022, I think it was, I realized that I started declining in a lot of different aspects in my life, including my income. So coming into January 2025, I was very overweight. I was 18.8 stone, and a majority of that was fat. Now, I do have a decent size frame and broad shoulders, so to a normal person, I think I would look more big and hench rather than fat. Of course, if you saw me topless, you would think, oh, he's a fatty. And being a fatty, I was anxious. I realized that I was very anxious all the time. I would get anxiety about the smallest thing. And it was very recent. It was 3 months ago. I heard the neighbor say something about my car in the Ring doorbell. And for some reason, it was just on my mind. Like, why aren't they knocking on my door and telling me what the problem is? And the thing is, I don't even know if there was a problem. But it was just by her mannerisms, it felt like, oh, there was something about my car being on my own driveway that was an issue to them, and I was getting anxiety about that. And then there's the fact I'm 26 and I'm not married, and with the people that are around me, the older generation, they are constantly telling me to get married and to start my life as if I haven't started my life already. I kind of feel like this negativity and everyone looking down on me, and I really haven't even said this before to anyone. And from that most profitable month on YouTube, my income actually started to go down due to burnout on my channel and me trying to focus on building other channels, which a lot of them didn't succeed, because I really did try to go the quick money route and try to do something and channels that were quick. However, a bunch of those channels actually got demonetized, and some of them even had very low RPM rates, so around 10p per 1,000 views, due to the Indian audience behind them. And this was gaming content, so I was very confused about why I'm getting an Indian audience, but it was mainly because I was titling the videos as Spider-Man 2 full movie, fan game film, and those types of titles are going to attract more of the Indian consumer base. So I'd started a few channels like this, and it really just didn't feel fulfilling. So I was anxious, fat, overweight, and I had a ton of self-doubt. I was looking at my life in the future thinking, I'm just gonna settle for anyone at this point. I can't get a girl, so I'll just take anyone. I'm a fatty, I'm ugly, and maybe I'm not even good enough at this YouTube thing that I'm trying to do. But in January 2025, I actually uploaded on my main channel every single day, and even sometimes multiple times a day, and that I ended up making around £2,500 to £2,700 just from Google AdSense, as I had stopped doing any other side channel and thought, let me just use this month to see the progress of what I can do if I posted every single day to this main channel. And the results were incredible. I knew that this was just 1 month of posting consistently, and given over time, this could go up to like 4, 5, 6,000 a month, even 10k a month, with the right viral content, the right videos that I know my audience would love. However, then February rolled around and I realized I stopped getting consistent again. By the end of February, Ramadan had started. So I thought, because in Ramadan we fast 30 days from sunrise to sunset, why don't I use this month to lose some weight and get spiritually ready and to basically get good with God. So I think this is the first Ramadan in my life where I can actually say that I really submitted to God, and spiritually I just kind of changed my mindset on how I was thinking, and I used this month to think about what I actually wanted in the future. Where I was right now, overweight, fat, ugly, and a bunch of self-doubt in me. And I thought back to how I was in 2016 to 2021. I felt unstoppable in those years. I had such big ambitions, big plans. I was listening to Garyvee. I was listening to a bunch of motivational speakers. I was really putting all that stuff into my ear and my head because I needed that mindset shift. Thought about all the ambitions I had with YouTube. When I first got that big check at the end of 2021, that's actually when everything started going downhill. I started to become complacent. And it didn't just affect my income, it affected my physical health and my mental health. And again, this is all very recent to me. It's only June and I went through this spiritual change back in March, mainly the end of March. At the end of Ramadan, it felt more like. So at the end of Ramadan, I actually lost a couple of pounds, and by the end of those 30 days, I felt really good about myself. But now I needed to change 3 things. I needed to change my physical health, my mental health, and my income streams. So starting with my physical health, I did a 48-hour water fast after Ramadan was completed to really just shock my body. Since I was already used to fasting, I thought it wouldn't be as hard now to do a water fast than it would be in a couple months after I started getting used to eating. During that first week, I started watching a bunch of videos about health and different diets, and I decided to go almost the carnivore route. Whilst not going fully carnivore, I still have fruit like watermelon, and the only dip I have is a little bit of hummus, but I completely cut out every other single carb. I no longer have chips, fries, crisps, bread, bagels, burger buns, all of that stuff. Past that, it's all gone, and I can never have it again from this point. And I thought that would be a huge challenge, but it actually ended up making me feel so much better, and my mind just feels like it can absorb so much more details and information. But then I started to research the effects of food and health and what's the correlation between the two, and then I discovered look maxing and health maxing and found out about the importance of gut health. Then I cut out milk completely because of the A1 protein within milk. They say it causes asthma and congestion in the nose. That's all stuff that I currently have. I drink a ton of milk. Guys, I drink a ton of milk. So after around a week and a half of this, I lost about 2-3 pounds. I was feeling good, my mind was clearer, and then I started to listen to Garyvee again. I started watching his old videos and his new videos to just reprogram my mind, just so I could go back into that mental headspace and the mindset of 2017, 2018, 2019. And it really worked. I then stumbled upon guys like Alex Hormozi, started watching the Graham Stephan podcast and Dave Ramsey. That led me actually to go fully in with investing. Now, I did learn about investing back again in 2016, 2017. I actually got confused back then between investing and day trading. So I actually ended up making like £600 on my initial £40 investment on Snapchat, but then losing it all in day trading. I've always known about the effects of investing, and during this 2-week period after Ramadan, I was like learning a ton of stuff. I was stumbling on a ton of stuff since I was now watching content like Garyvee and Graham Stephan. A lot of things were getting recommended to me, so I was watching a ton. So I started to reprogram my mind with the Garyvee content. I was getting those old ambitions back, but in terms of the anxiety and self-doubt, I really wanted to talk to a therapist. So I looked online how to go and talk to a therapist, BetterHelp, all these different things. But then someone said, why don't you use ChatGPT? Just give it a shot. So I downloaded ChatGPT and I started to go in with my questions about why I'm feeling self-doubt and anxiety. And then I already kind of knew the answers, but seeing ChatGPT say it back to me what I already knew, then kind of giving some additional context to it, it sparked something in my mind. It made me realize just how amazing AI has gotten. So at this point, I started researching AI and the different tools within AI, as over the last year and a half, I've only been using Midjourney as I felt the other AI tools just weren't up to scratch. But I was severely mistaken, because there are improvements in AI all the time. So I then used ChatGPT to learn a bunch of stuff. I bought the Pro plan for around £20 a month. With that, I got Sora AI, which is a video generator too. That's what actually initially made me purchase the Pro plan, because I really wanted the Sora access. Then I started learning how to invest, started asking it a ton of questions that other people probably think I'm stupid for asking. Of course, with AI, there is no judgment. You can ask the most stupidest questions in the most stupidest way, to be honest. And kind of, if you want examples just with cats, and you give me an analogy featuring cats in hats, will literally give you that analogy, and if that's the way you learn, that's the way you learn. And that's what AI can do. I realized that this is the way I'm going to learn the most. I can use this AI to learn. And I realized in school I was very good at studying, and I even had a tuition teacher for maths and science, in which I was able then to bump my grade up from a D to B in maths and actually get an A in science. So that one-on-one support is very crucial and beneficial to me, and is likely beneficial to nearly everyone watching this video, because you can ask anything without being shy. So I started to learn about investing in the stock market. I learned how to become a digital nomad, how to get out of the UK tax system, how to build brand and use other social platforms that I'm currently underutilizing, how to build an IP entertainment company, and how to use the other AI tools. I also watched a ton of videos about how to build a brand, and I got advice from Alex Hormozi, Garyvee, and a lot more other creators online. So I thought, instead of just doing these single separate YouTube channels, why don't I combine them together under one brand? That led me to finally continuing my TikTok and make an Instagram account in relation to my brand, and even make my first bit of merch as a limited drop. I also then used AI to then teach me how to build a website, and made my first ever website for my brand. I then went all in and purchased Opus AI for clipping. I already had a £200 a year Midjourney subscription. I bought ChatGPT Plus for £20 a month, and I bought 11 Labs for around £22 a month, and I used Claude and Gemini for free, as well as redeeming an offer for Perplexity Pro on my brother's phone. So now I've started making other new channels all under one brand, whilst having some separate other channels just like this one, so I can explore my other interests in the different niches that I enjoy. So this channel is mainly to help everyone out there and give my experiences, since I have made like 10 plus monetized channels in the past. I'm currently making a majority of my income from YouTube, but now going all in building a brand and using AI to just supplement my content volume, keeping that quality that I find acceptable. It's truly a game changer, and it's also now allowed me to explore other things just like this channel. I also want to do a Yu-Gi-Oh channel, so I've set up a lot of the things. I've set up a lot of my dead channels also, because now I'm also going to be making shorts content, which I've never really done before for my channel. I have made shorts content when TikTok first came out back in 2020. I was really for 6 months just doing TikToks, but it never really amounted to much. I got around 6,000 followers on TikTok, but never really did it in relation to my main channel, which I should have done. Also, at the end of April, I invested into a brand new laptop and also put £8,000 into the stock market. I'm doing like the Berkshire Fund, index funds, and also a lot of AI and tech and robotic companies, since I heavily believe in AI and tech, especially after all this experience. And since we just came out of May, I set up my website in that month, set up my socials and different channels. I researched a bunch of different content, researched how to do shorts. I practiced doing short. I tweaked a bunch of the AI services that I used, started training models upon the things that I needed it to do, and I continued with my physical workout. And I can tell you, from 18.8 stone, I'm now around 17 stone 2. I'm getting a lot of compliments that I look slimmer, but I'm also going to start doing all that look maxing techniques like the predator eyes and all that kind of stuff. I'm also going into beginner calisthenics, as I really want to be able to like lift my body off the ground. So I may go into like a fitness channel once I'm capable of doing that kind of stuff. That will be another niche to dominate. I do also in 2 years want to move to Bali, kind of become a digital nomad, just explore the world every 6 months, kind of live tax free. It's also stacking my money and then investing it into the stock market. I can tell you that mentally I feel a lot more focused. That old version of me is back, and I just feel like it's improved so much more, because now I know exactly what I'm putting into my body, how it affects my body. And looking at my career goals, I really want to build my YouTube channels as a brand rather than just separate channel. I feel a lot more focused, feel like I have a purpose, and every day I'm just learning different things, or learning more about the things I want to know about with AI. So I wanted to put this out there, because if anyone else is feeling like this and they're kind of stuck and they have no kind of hope, and hopefully you can see that I was also in a very bad headspace. I felt like I had a bunch of brain fog. I couldn't learn. I was stuck. I had no clear path forward. I was thinking thoughts. I was really thinking thoughts like, why don't I just get married to like anyone who says yes to me, because I'm worthless and I really won't find the girl of my dreams. I see like a lot of guys that are my age, my friends, they're getting married, so I think I was feeling a lot of that, and I had a bunch of people behind my back and even in front of my face saying that you're getting too old and nobody's going to marry you in a couple of years. And again, when we're talking about marriage here, I know a lot of people have like girlfriends and boyfriends, but in my community, culture and religion, you're not supposed to have a girlfriend and boyfriend. The next stage is marriage. But now, to be honest, I don't feel like that anymore. I feel like I've got huge goals and ambition. I'm kind of glad that I haven't got married, because I wouldn't be able to really pursue all of this and even become a digital nomad in a couple of years. I really feel like I've upgraded my mentality, I've upgraded my physical health, I've got rid of the self-doubt, and I've revamped my entire YouTube system to use AI to help me and aid me in the process of making videos. And to be honest, I just feel a lot happier. So I hope this helps someone. If you can relate, let me know in the comment section below. I love to hear your stories, and I really hope to see you on my next videos. Take care, guys.